Hey, if you're looking for insurance for your home, auto, special possessions like RVs and jewelry, and want to bundle that insurance, I've got a guest that I would love to introduce y'all today. I'm Nate Carver, your favorite mortgage guy, and today we're talking to Alyssa over at Goosehead, and she's fantastic. I got to go meet up with her for a cup of coffee over in Frisco, Texas at Ascension, and we hit it off. So I wanted to introduce y'all to her as well. Hey, I'm Nate Carver, and welcome to Between Two Doors. Hi, Alyssa. How are you doing?
Hey Nate, I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying the fall has started and got the garden plowed under and we're resting till
Yeah,
next spring. So
I'm waiting
kind
for
of
the next cold front to hit Texas. It's like it's November, it shouldn't be 80 degrees outside.
yeah. You get your coat out, you got to keep it
Yeah,
handy. Don't
yeah,
need it everywhere, then it becomes luggage. So it
exactly.
warms up pretty nicely. So let's introduce the world to you. And I think they're gonna really enjoy this. So tell me about your origin story, where you started from, and how
Yeah,
you got to where you're at now.
yeah, of course. I am originally from Charleston, South Carolina. Born in California, but raised in South Carolina. I am a Clemson Tiger. I graduated from Clemson University, but my family moved to Oklahoma. My stepdad is in the Air Force. He's active duty. He is a load master for the Air Force. So they moved to Oklahoma, and once I graduated college, I wanted to be closer to family, so Dallas was the next best place besides the middle of nowhere where they're at in Oklahoma. So I moved here, and I started out in medical sales, but have been in I've known about the insurance industry all my life. My mom's on the premium financing side of things, so decided to pursue insurance with Goosehead Insurance.
Nice. So you've been here for a minute,
hmm
and let's see, what was your impression of Texas? Have you ever been to Texas first? And then
hmm
what was your impression of Texas, or what your idea of Texas would be like? Because not all of us have cowboy hats and cowboy boots.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
us do.
the first time I went to DFW, I thought the first thing I thought was, wow, this is big. This is a lot of concrete. I was driving on an interstate and I had just gone to the Metroplex, and there's just all these windy roads, all these huge lanes, and I was just so amazed because the largest interstate that you're going to see in South Carolina is 3 lanes max on each side. So it was just absolutely chaotic. But I thought it was just so crazy how big the city is, because Charleston's a city, but if no one's familiar with downtown Charleston, you can't build higher than the tallest church spire. So it's a big city, but it feels really small. Whereas Dallas is big and it looks big. So that was my first impression of Texas. Drivers were a little scary, but I've gotten used to it. And I really love Flower Mound, Texas. That's where I live now.
Nice. It's a good area. Have you found some favorite local things that you absolutely are like, yep, this is home?
Yeah, I really like the Capel Farmers Market on
Oh
Saturdays.
yeah.
And Grapevine, downtown Grapevine has some really good spots down there. I really love, there's a couple pizza places. It's like Mysterio. Are you
Mm-hmm.
familiar with that? That one's so
Yeah.
good. There's one in Flower Mound, but there's one in Grapevine. I love it.
So one of the things when we first met in our initial conversation that it came clear to me is you have a passion for people and
hmm
serving people. So your I don't know if there was any background to that or where that's coming from your heart. I'm kind of curious to know a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess my mom has been in sales my entire life. And I guess just seeing her kind of perform and shine the way that she's very successful in her role. So I guess I just kind of followed in her footsteps. And I just found really a passion just for communicating with people when I was in college. I actually worked for Clemson Athletics. And sold and worked with their boosters and their football attendees, getting them tickets and getting them taken care of for the season, and just being able to connect with so many people across the country, but
Mhm.
just Clemson alumni. It's just, and it might be just a relationship that you have over the phone, but those connections are valuable. And I realize that I like the people aspect of service, and
Mhm.
that's why insurance is one thing that everybody needs. It's required by law for most things. So why not help people make that a little bit easier?
All right, and give them some good guidance there. So
Yeah.
why Goosehead?
Yeah. So I wasn't aware of Goosehead when I initially started looking for insurance roles. But Goosehead quickly got my attention, and my franchise owner is very awesome. Goosehead Insurance is actually the largest insurance brokerage in Texas and one of the largest in the United States. So when you're starting a new career in a new industry that you're somewhat familiar with, but you haven't done before,
Mhm.
working for one of the largest companies and it being independent instead of captive is one of the biggest things that drew my attention, because I have a lot more freedom to help clients figure out what's best for them instead of kind of putting one carrier, like one shoe to fit everyone, instead of having everyone have their own shoe that fits them. So
Nice.
that quickly won me over.
Anything in your career yet that has really stood out as a like a red letter day for you, and an awesome experience that you were with the client?
Yes, I have so much fun just working on how much money I can save a client and getting to the point where I'm working the numbers, I'm seeing which carrier works best for them. And when I get to a part in the process where I'm ready to review the policy and explain it to them, just just communicating the value and sharing, like, hey, once we get this done and taken care of, we're saving $700, we're saving $1,000. And then at the end of the conversation, they're just so stunned and so appreciative of the time that I took to get them a policy that fits them better, and that I walked them through it. Because most of the time when I'm working with clients, they've had insurance for years, but no one took the time to explain to them what their insurance is actually covering them. And just having that seeing that appreciation and that just comfort that they receive knowing that they're properly protected is it's why I love coming into the office every day.
Yeah, I can tell you, for years and years, and I've worked with Goosehead. I say worked with. I've encouraged bars or made introductions. That's all I do. I
Yeah.
just make introductions, and I can tell you the communication that y'all provide is top notch. Um, and then, I mean, as a consumer myself, I really
Yeah.
like that y'all are able to shop policies and really
Mhm.
get the homeowner something that is tailor made uh,
Yes.
to meet their housing needs and so and their budget. And so that is fantastic. Let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about homeowner insurance. I promise no
Yeah.
gotcha questions, but I
Of
do
course.
kind of want to delve into it a little bit for some of our listeners. Uh, Things that they may ask is, let's talk about homeowner insurance policy in plain English. And when you look at a policy,
Hmm.
what are the top three big things that you want a homeowner to understand?
Yeah, so the biggest part is how much is your home insured for. So homeowners policies are built around the replacement cost of a home. So this isn't how much your home is worth, it's how much it's going to cost to rebuild the home. God forbid it gets completely run down to the ground. So that's the first part. How much do you have in coverage? Because you don't want to be paying out of pocket for anything if you find yourself in that situation. The second one that I would point out to new home buyers is the deductibles. So in Texas, You're gonna most often have your all other perils deductible, and then separately your wind and hail. Now, DFW, just in the city, faces some unique risks just by the fact that there's a lot of claims made for wind and hails on roofs. So depending where you're at on Texas, the deductible may be 2% or 1%. So that's an important piece to look at when shopping around. And then the last part is what's included versus what's excluded. A lot of water related claims may or may not be covered by your homeowner's insurance. So it's important to review your policy with your agent or just sit down and read through your declarations to see what's actually covered.
Nice. Are there any things homeowners can do to help lower the cost of their
Mhm.
insurance policy? Maybe a homeowner or someone that's actually about to buy a home. What are some things that could happen that could help
Yeah.
lower that cost?
So I get this question a lot. So there's a couple of routes that I take. Um, the route that I try to stay away from, but I mean it is an option, is lowering or reducing some of the optional coverages that are all water related. So seepage coverage, water backup, foundation. They're not required in your homeowner's policy, but they can be endorsed. So if we're looking at some cost savings, we can reduce those, but in the event of a claim, the protection that you have is obviously decreased a little bit. The other side is increasing your deductibles. So if I meet with the client and they're moving into a home, but they have a brand new roof and the insurance premium that we started out with is a little high. Sometimes I do recommend increasing the deductible for wind and hail because the odds of you having to replace a brand new roof is pretty slim. So if we're looking at the next 12 months and seeing what's most competitive to get them through that first year, we consider raising the deductibles.
All right. And how about explain to us the difference, if you can, between a replacement cost, what that really means, versus actual cash value?
Yes. So replacement cost, it differs from actual cash value in the way that actual cash value for something deducts depreciation. And replacement cost, how I like to explain it is if you bought a TV for $1,000 5 years ago, and right now it's worth 200, if you have replacement cost, you're going to get a new TV worth $1,000. But if you had ACV, you're going to get a TV that's worth $250 because that's what your TV is worth now, 5 years later. So whenever I'm writing homeowners insurance policies for my clients, we always make sure that their personal property is going to be replaced at replacement cost because nobody wants to end up with their property not being the same because they bought it years ago. Nobody wants to deal with the depreciation factor.
Right. Does taking a picture of the piece of property and maybe having the receipt stored away in a I don't know, say a lockbox or whatever, does that help?
Yeah, sometimes it depends on how much you want to invest in doing that. I know a lot of people own a lot of things, so sometimes that can add up. But one way that we can also do that is scheduling personal property onto your insurance policy. So these are things like high value items like an engagement ring or a piece of antique furniture that you want to make sure is going to be absolutely covered by your insurance policy. We'll go ahead and schedule that in, have proof of how much it's worth if someone wants to assess it or you have a receipt. So in the event of the claim and it becomes damaged, the insurance carrier already knows how much that piece was worth.
All right. What are you seeing trend wise in insurance policies with new homeowners? You get a contract, you get a notice that they were going under contract, getting the insurance set up and validated. What are you seeing some trends, I guess, in the North Texas area?
hmm I guess trend wise, trying to think. Um, realizing how much roof age is how is
Hmm.
very important, especially in North Texas. Um, One thing that I've noticed, sometimes it can be very difficult for home buyers to get an affordable homeowners insurance premium if They have a lot of claims that they filed on previous homes because even if you're not if we're not writing that homeowner's policy on your old home and you're moving into a new one, that claim history still carries with you even though we're moving homes. So clients with that file a lot of claims for small things, in the moment it may seem very helpful to do so because it's less out of pocket, but in the long run it's ending up hurting their ability to get more competitive coverage in the future. Roof age, as I said, can be a big factor. So getting in touch with your real estate agents and figuring out when you're shopping for homes, what the roof is like. Um, and then it's become a lot more cost competitive for my cost conscious clients to bundle with their auto.
Hmm. So there's some levers there that that future homeowner can have or make
Hmm.
use of to help keep their monthly housing costs down for insurance.
Hmm.
Good. All right, real stories. Let's do some real stories and some common pitfalls.
Yeah,
Without naming any names,
yeah,
can
of
you share
course.
any stories that were where good coverage really saved someone in a financial nightmare? Or
Hmm.
yeah, let's go with that one.
Yeah, so this happened a couple months ago. There was try to remember. There was some water backup that happened in a home, and we had just rewrote their policy, um, and they were with a former carrier, but with a new one. We shopped their homeowners insurance bundled with their auto, but we noticed that they didn't have any of the optional water backup coverages. So we added the seepage, we added foundation, we added a water backup. And a couple of weeks later, something messed up with their septic tank at home, and they just noticed all of their sinks, their bathtubs, all of this just like disgusting goo was just blowing up. And at the end of the day, nobody wants that to happen. Nobody wants to clean that up.
No.
But the repairs that takes, it ruined their flooring, it ruined some of their cabinetry, and it just we ended up being able to save them thousands of dollars by adding that endorsement that isn't required. And if we weren't looking very carefully and noticing what kind of the gaps in coverage, they would have been out of pocket for
Wow.
several thousand dollars. So that was a huge win for both the client and our agency.
Wow, good for y'all. On the
Yeah.
flip side of that, what if someone is underinsured? What are some pitfalls there or poorly insured?
Yeah, this was we didn't have them. This happened a couple of weeks ago, but this was we found out the situation before we wrote a new policy that had the gap in coverage. But we write landlord policies, so those are dwelling
Hmm.
policies instead of homeowners. And one of the things on a dwelling policy that you can get is tenant liability. And before coming to Goosehead, our client did not have that built into his policy. And I guess one day, one of his tenants at his rental property just went nuts and started punching holes in the wall. And he didn't have tenant liability in his dwelling policy, and he ended up having to repair the walls himself. So when he shared that with us, we were able to get that built into his new policy. So
Mm.
kind of a crazy situation. That tenant was quickly removed out of the property, but tenant liability is another optional coverage that we recommend to our landlords.
All right. Again, you're giving your clients, customers a tailored policy, right?
Hmm.
So having a candid conversation, this is what this property is, what we're going to do with it. That really helps in making sure, I guess, mitigating that, right?
Hmm.
Um, any silent killers on a policy? Um,
Um,
like gaps or oversights that people don't notice that might maybe be too late?
Yeah, this kind of ties back to the kind of where new home buyers, if they don't like the cost of their premium, where we can either increase deductibles or remove some of those optional coverages. Sometimes when we do increase those deductibles, on in the short term, it makes sense because they're like, yes, I'm saving a couple $100, but because I'm increasing my wind and hail deductible by 2%. But when it comes down to a wind and hail claim and they have to file it, now they're 20, $30,000 extra out of pocket before insurance steps in.
Hmm.
So unless if a client is in a good financial spot where they can afford in the event of a claim to pay that deductible, ahead of time, and not ahead of time, like upfront before insurance steps in, that's great. But I kind of like to encourage my clients to see, like, we can in the short term save money, but in the long term, do we want to have to pay an entire roof out of pocket because the deductible is higher than what it costs to repair the roof? So that's a silent killer that I have to walk through, just to make sure that the clients know exactly what they're getting and what they're purchasing.
Good.
Because it's just a balance of risk of how much risk you want to take.
Right. All right, let's shift gears. Let's talk about home buyers and lenders and realtors and your relationship and how you fit into fit
Yeah.
into this little space. When is the ideal time for a borrower to loop you in?
The ideal time for me is when you are now you picked your dream home, and you're with your lender and you go under contract. As soon as that process happens, let's go ahead and take care of your homeowner's insurance. That way, the roof is going to be repaired by or replaced by the previous homeowners, or we don't know the roof age, or there's just a lot of tricky aspects about the insurance policy. We have enough time to get in touch with the listing agent, to get in touch with the selling agent. Just make sure that all of these boxes are covered so that we're not getting to the last minute on closing day and figure out, like, oh, we're actually waiting on the homeowner's insurance because that's required to get the loan moving forward.
What does that look like from the insurance perspective? A smooth closing for the home buyer. So let's say I got 30 days. I get a contract. We got 30 days to close.
Hmm.
I have a process as a mortgage lender how I'm going to work them through all the way to closing. My ideal situation is we have a week, solid week, clear to close, no issues, no chaos. That 1 week prior to closing.
Yeah.
That's what our goal is. That's what we work to do. And so, how about on the insurance side? Because I make the introduction, and I don't meddle in the insurance world. So I
Yeah.
want to know what that looks like to you.
So yeah, so what it looks like here at Goosehead is, um, so you as the lender, you get us connected with the client, and I get their contact information. So what I do is I take a look at their home, get some just preliminary information, and then I give the client a call and say, hey, I work with Nate and I take care of their client's homeowner's insurance. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you a couple questions, just confirm details on the home, basically all the information that I need to start running numbers. And so we chit chat, get that all taken care of, and then that takes usually about 15 minutes. Then we hang up, and I get to work on the numbers. So I have several systems that help me in this process. But I start running through carriers if I need to contact underwriters to ask questions, or they're blocking policies for whatever reason, just kind of clear those. And within an hour or two max, I usually give the client a call back, and for the next 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how many questions that we have, we walk through the policy line by line, and make sure, is this something that you want on the call policy? Is this too high? Is this too low? What are your thoughts on it? And by the end of the day, it takes just one day to get an insurance policy all written, bound, and what's comfortable for the client. And then after I get that taken care of, I send it back to the lender, and I let you do your magic.
And that's what I do. Tell me, when a realtor's listening to this podcast, what are some things that they can do that will help set that home buyer up for success from your perspective on the insurance?
Yes. So a couple things. I want, if realtors are listening, having an accurate understanding of the roof age is a big thing, because sometimes no one knows that information. So now we have to kind of make phone calls to realties, of different realtors. So that's a big thing. But also understanding the the claim history with the client, so we know on their former home, just those what that detail looks like, just in case we need to give ourselves more time to speak with underwriting with carriers. And then obviously all the small details like property addresses, if plumbing's been updated, roof's been replaced, electrical, all of that stuff taken care of early so that there's no last minute surprises.
Good. So home buyers, in this process, I mean, buying a house is not their normal bread and butter daily day adventure. And certainly they have families, they have jobs. There's lots of other things that they have to focus on. And the house buying process, have they're learning a lot of new language, real estate agent language, title company language, lender language, insurance language. What do you do to help coach and guide first time home buyers, for example, in the real estate insurance piece?
Yeah, so I ask lots of questions just to make sure I'm gauging whether or not the client is familiar with terms like market value, ACV, replacement cost. And if they're not familiar, or escrow, for example, I'll go over some of the mortgage side of things just so that they're prepared for your conversations as well.
Mhm.
But I just put everything into plain English. At the end of the day, no one wants to hear a lot of the technical terms when it comes to kind of understanding just the gist of what their homeowner's insurance policy entails. So just making it a little bit easier to understand, and if that means using examples, having them envision what the process or what an example of a claim might be and where their deductibles come in, or examples of what seepage or leakage looks like. Just using that personal guidance with easy language that's easy to understand and easy to follow is how I coach my clients through understanding insurance, because it's a pretty hefty thing. You want to make sure you're
Right.
doing it right.
Yeah, like so, something like 80% or more people just want to be led well.
Hmm.
Okay, so looking ahead and getting to know Alyssa, tell us, where do you see yourself in, I don't know, 4 or 5 years from now, your business in insurance in North Texas?
Yeah, in a couple of years, I hope that I am a trusted insurance advisor, not just with North Texas, where I'm based out of, but across the entire state, and in Oklahoma, in Utah, in North Carolina, Missouri, Montana. Those are all states that I work and sell insurance in. And when people want insurance and they want someone who they can trust, that's easy to talk to, that's going to care for them, not just for their insurance side, but also their well-being, and just being excited for them to get the American dream of buying a home. It's an exciting feeling, and I just want them to think of me first and know that I'm one of their trusted advisors.
Nice. Oh, so what's your ideal client, the client that you love to serve?
I love clients. I mean, I like to talk, so and the client likes to talk a lot. We can just chit chat about football, their weekend plans, where they grew up, if they have family where they're moving. Because we're both people, so I don't want my conversations and my relationships with my clients to just kind of be a one day thing. I want it to be ongoing. If they have questions, that they can just give me a call, and we can check in about their kids, their dogs, their future vacation plans. Those are my ideal clients, and those relationships will last a lifetime, and those are ultimately what I want.
They will. How about let's see, we've got some homeowners listening to this podcast, and let's say they haven't looked at their policy in a year or two or more.
Mhm.
What's the one step? What should they do this week?
Yes, they should, first of all, figure out who their homeowner's insurance is with. Sometimes I talk to clients and they have no idea. It was just something they clicked a couple buttons, got an online quote, and it was done with. So first, figure out who their insurance carriers is with, and then get a hold of your declarations page. So your declarations page is usually the first couple of pages of your homeowner's insurance policy. It is a quick summary of what your policy covers you for. So review that, look it over, and if you have any questions or you don't understand what all the jargon is, what all the numbers mean, give me a call. We can definitely walk over and I'll explain it to you. And if there's anything that you want to change or you want to see what rates look like now, that's definitely something that I can help with.
Good for you. All right. So, personal side, what's a hidden talent, a quirk, a trait, someone that you don't have to, yeah, something that you love doing that you'd like people to know about?
Yeah, I'll say two things. One of my hidden tricks is I can write with both hands. So when I was a kid, I used to use my left hand and write on the left side of a page, and then finish the sentence with my right hand, which was pretty cool. My teachers didn't like that very much though, so spent elementary and middle school writing with my right hand, but switched over to my left. So I'm always switching it up when I'm playing sports. But love to play pickleball. I know that's the trend now. But I'm pretty good at it. No, don't want to toot my own horn. But I also love to run. Looking to sign up for my next half marathon coming up soon.
Yeah. And there is a lot of pickleball
Oh
places
yeah.
around here.
I don't know how to like curve the ball or serve super hard. But I say I'm pretty good. I'm pretty above average is where I'm at.
Awesome. Let's see. Lastly, if you could give every homeowner some insurance pep talk, what would it be? What's your tagline?
Yeah, review your insurance policy, find an agent that you like, that you trust, and keep them for life. Insurance is what you're going to need for the rest of your life, so might as well partner with someone who's going to stick with you for the long haul. And
Good.
and I'm here for the long haul. So give me a call.
All right. Speaking of, let's say our call to action to get a hold of Alyssa. Let's see, and I'm going to put links down below wherever you're seeing or listening to this podcast. Best ways for them to get a hold of you to either get a new policy or to get a quote on their current policy.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, the best way to contact me is to just call me. My phone number is 972-559-9449. And if you're ever interested in the homes that I'm insuring or what I'm doing, at Goosehead, I do have an insurance Instagram. It's insure.by.alyssa. So some super fun things that I'm posting on there. But yeah, if you want to, social media is your thing, send me a DM. If you just want to chat, give me a call. But I also have an email address as well.
Awesome. Anything that I should have asked you?
Um, how I felt about Clemson's win against Louisville
How
on
did you feel
Friday.
about Clemson's win against Louisville?
I was super excited. Clemson's been not so good. We actually thought Cade Klubnik was going to be a Heisman pick, but obviously that might not be the case anymore. But it felt good to take down. I don't know what their ranking is now, but they were ranked number 12 by Friday. So I was super excited to see them.
Awesome.
I love football.
Good. All right, everybody, there you have it. Insurance, you've got to have it. I highly recommend reaching out to Alyssa over at Goosehead to for her to help you get that piece of your home purchase taken care of and or updated. And as always, I'm Nate Carver, your favorite mortgage guy. Until next time on Between Two Doors, I'll see you then.
Thanks, Dave.